As we start, it's already like setting up.
So can we go back to Zoom, right?
I don't know whether I will indeed put up one more prompt.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Great. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll start by saying I'm sorry. Usually I do a lot of broadcast and publicity. I mean, both of us, we usually do a lot of broadcast and publicity, and it happened that I sent out the wrong link erroneously, and so we're trying to kind of rectify that, send the right link to people, and just get us on track back again. So, as you know, this is Marriage Still Works with Dele and Uwa, and today we have an amazing guest, an amazing couple, and I want to assure you that the story is going to really inspire you and help you rejuvenate your marriage relationship or whatever relationship speaks to you when you hear when you hear their story. And so we're going to go straight on, but before then, I will introduce ourselves as we usually do for those who are joining us for the first time. My name is Uwa.
I'm Dele.
Yes, and I'm sure you can know that is both names that makes up Deluwa.
Yeah.
So we are Deluwa Talks Real. We talk real about marriage and relationships and anything family enhancement and things that will help you to move your family on the track to enjoying bliss. Okay. Billy is going to take us through the vision that we have, our vision for the overarching platform through which run these expressions. So over to you.
Thank you very much. The main umbrella name is actually Udela Family Institute.
Yes.
Udela Family Institute. So Marriage Still Works is actually one of the expressions, and we actually stand for something to inspire and empower families to thrive, creating a stronger community for all.
Yes.
A stronger community for all. And this mission that we actually have is to empower families to become stronger. Not just stronger, we want them to be happier and more functional through workshops, counseling, and premarital preparation. And that's why we have our offerings in training, couples counseling, and also premarital preparation.
Yes.
Thank you. And I want to warn us ahead in this session. I always yield the platform more to her. So, like I always say, I will do more of a supporting striker in our conversation. Of course, our guests have the floor, but you'll be hearing more of her own voice.
Because I talk a lot, so it's me that usually do all the question asking. So, so once again, you're welcome. We would like now we're having people join us. A big thank you once again. We sent out the wrong link initially. Thank you for finding your way here. Could you please put on the chat where are you joining us from? Just tell us where you are joining us from, and let us welcome you. Tell us, how you're doing, how your week has been. Why you are doing that? Because we've lost some time due to the wrong link that was sent. We're going to bring up our guests. Usually we ask our guests to introduce to tell us about themselves, because we know that you are the one that can tell your story best. So today we have an amazing couple. Thank you, Debola. Yes, my apologies.
Thank you for
thank you. Yeah. So yes, today we have an amazing couple. I mean, amazing in every sense of the word, and this is not capping anyone. And please, before I go on, could you also, you found your way here, kindly help us share the right link to your colleagues, your friends, your family members, bring them here, because I assure you today, they are not going to live, the same, their marriage, their relationship, even personally, even if they are not married or not, they are going to live very inspired.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have with us they are big that to us, they are big that just like on this show, we use first name basis. we use first name basis. We call them big daddy and big mommy because these are people who are way ahead in a lot of things, and people who God has really helped to be successful in all endeavors of life.
Yep.
Talk about marital, career, business, family. God has really helped them, and it's our honor and joy today to bring to us the story of Big Daddy and Big Mommy, but I'll say
Call us by name.
Adedeji and Oyenike Abagun. Please, can we put our hands together for them? Show it on the chat group.
The digital cloud. Let's have it.
You can use we can interpret as welcome. Please, put it on the chat group. And so we're just going to spotlight them and allow them to begin to tell their story. So please, let's start with tell us about yourselves. What do you do? And then you go into how you met, how long have you been married, all those who said I love you first, all those romantic things. I love romance.
I love you. You go first.
Okay, no, ladies first. Let her go ahead. And
Okay.
Then,
All right. Good
Some
evening.
people have a version of that. Ladies first, after men.
After men.
There's always an update.
Thank you, Deluwa, for having us. It's such an honor, and we consider it a great privilege to be here. It's by the grace of God we're here, and we don't take that for granted. And we pray in Jesus' name that this session would heal homes, birth hope in people that are struggling at this time with their relationship at whatever level that they're at. So my name is Catherine Oyenike Abagun, and this is my husband, Adedeji Abagun. What do? I work with a tech company. I'm in the corporate world, and of course, as you will know, that will bring a bit of the dynamics of our relationship are different, maybe from what other people are going through, whatever. So I work with a tech company. We married on the 29th of January, year 2000, the year of our Lord Jesus Christ. So that's it for now. So I'll let my husband introduce himself, or do I go ahead? So let me introduce him. I am the talkative. So my husband is Adedeji Abagun. He's into real estate. He's a builder. He sells. Is the CEO of Dotsy's Properties, Dotsy's Homes and Properties Limited, in Nigeria, and very soon in the UK by the grace of God. It's already in the UK. Actually.
Wow, amazing.
That's who we have. Our story is the story of a very small beginning. Was there even a beginning? I don't think the beginning was a bit rough. I met my husband in Daystar Christian Center, and it was the time I met him. The truth of the matter is, the circumstance of the meeting was really very dynamic in the way that I had just been kicked out of a house where I was living in. My husband, being who he is, as you know him, is a very selfless, kind-hearted, always carrying other people's load, like that. And somehow, yes. So somebody introduced me, my cell leader at the time introduced me to him to say, oh, brother, by the way, this sister is looking for an apartment. So do you know her? And she said, I know him because earlier around that year, we had met in Sister Sheyedu's car, one of our sisters in church. And it was at a time that I was really looking forward to marrying. I was already 30. I think we met when I was 33, going 34. So, when you're like that age or so, everything is, yes, you're pressured and all that. And in that Sister Sheyedu's car that day, I tell everybody that that care to listen to our story, the Holy Spirit said to me, that's your husband. And the truth is, I didn't see his face because it was dark. It was a midweek service. but Sister Sheyi gave both of us a ride. And you know, for a woman of 33, of course, the kind of husband you're looking for is one that has a ride, not the one that's itching a ride. You know, a husband that already has a ride, that is already made, that is, you know, tough, dark, and handsome, and all
You
of that.
know,
Has an apartment of its own. It doesn't have to be on the island. Actually, at minimum, 2-bedroom flat and all that. So that's how we met. And so when the Holy Spirit told me that's your husband, the following week on a Wednesday, so I saw this gentleman standing in front of the church. The service had not started, and he greeted me. I just answered, and I walked in. I said, "It's like you didn't remember me." And I'm like, "So I don't." I said, "Oh, my sister Sheyiska." I'm like, "Oh, hi." I greeted him. So as I was looking at him, is that the one that the Holy Spirit is saying? I said, "God forbid," you know. So, you know, because I wasn't really attracted to him. That's the honest truth. So fast forward, when the sister introduced us to say I was looking for a job, and my husband said, I know her very well. That's how my husband carried this house search like an agent. He was not an agent, but you know, even me, I was like, this man seems to be crying more than the bereaved.
But
You know,
I finally gave her a permanent accommodation.
so
Now she lives in my house.
permanently, I don't have to look for an apartment anymore. Anyway, so he did it so passionately, and the house where we were kicked out from, when it became clear that the house search was in vain, that day I broke down. I was sitting by the roadside, I broke down, and, you know, and it was just comforting me and saying, "Don't worry, God will come through this, that, you know." Anyway, long story short, I ended up spotting with a friend who was married at that time in Nigeria and all that, and we didn't see. So, I mean, after we got married, I asked him, I mean, he didn't have any reason to deny or you know, because we were already married. He said he had no ulterior motive. He was just being himself. But this guy did this thing. Honestly, at some point, I was cautious. I'm like, what's going on here? In fact, if you had found a house, I would have been hesitant to give him money, thinking that, you understand that kind of selflessness. That's who my husband is and still is. And that's
he
a
is.
problem
We know.
sometimes. So, you know, that part still causes problem. You know, even though that was one of the things that attracted me to him. So over the course of the search of the house, you know, I started seeing him in a different light. You know, the search and us being together, walking around, and him coming around and all that made me see him differently. Or us walking on the street of his street, then everybody greeting him, you know, everybody, it's like a popular jingle. People love her.
We know.
You know, people that didn't see him, he will call them, sister. I said, they didn't see you. Me, I will not call. If you don't see me, I walk fast because I want to get to where I'm going fast. That's me. But my husband will, sister. My husband is driving on the road, by the way, and he sees somebody, he will say, please, you're driving. We must greet everybody on you. So that's the kind of person he was. And that kind of attracted me to him. I saw a man. He didn't check all the boxes. He didn't check, in fact, literally like maybe 99% of the box, you know. But it was just like, how can the man be this nice? You know, and it occurred to me that, look, we can make this work. We can start. We can. And so when it came,
Stanike, so at what point did he not say, "Oh, I'm interested in you, and now we've sorted your house. Can we take this thing to the next level?"
In fact, after I moved to my friend's place, I didn't even contact him. Okay, I bought a card because it really touched me. So I bought a card. Thankfully it was not around, so I dropped the card to say thank you for whatever. So I think about a month or two after. No, it wasn't up to him because it was about just before Christmas. About 3 or 4 weeks after, we now saw him. I said, sister, you didn't work, you found a place fine. I said, yes, I'm now in it. She said, you didn't even invite me. And wow. And I said, I'm sorry, you know, that's how I invited him to the house. It was, I think it was birthday day. So I think at that time he had developed interest in me. Me, I already liked him as well. You know, I liked him, but of course, I'm not going to talk to him. I already liked him, you know. So when he came and, you know, he visited, and that's how it started. the truth is, he never proposed marriage.
He didn't toast
Was
you.
that-
Did he toast you to say, fine girl?
And for where this one, he didn't do.
I think we
He
need
did
to
not.
hear
He did
Look
not.
for my hand.
He did not. So what he said, it just came straight. And I you know they start those days. They say, if you want to marry somebody, we had the counseling, we had a very thriving family life then. And
Yeah.
said to me, I said, no, I said, you know the process now, go to church. And me, I just came out of a very messy relationship at that time. So for me, I wasn't ready to even take chances, So I said, what do you mean? You'll go to church. And he went to church and we had the first date officially by the beach. And he just captured he swept you off my feet. But he didn't say I love you. But you know when you don't say it, but your actions says things.
Yeah.
We were so in love and all that. He will come to my place. I beg.
What did you say?
He will come to my place.
She was in love. She was in love.
Yes.
I wasn't in love.
You were in what, sir?
Confession.
No.
It was in likeness.
I did
I
not
think we
marry.
should see him.
I did not marry her for love. I've been telling her from day one. I didn't marry her for love.
Oh, okay.
I married her for friendship. I married her because I know she could, complete me. I know myself. I know my weaknesses, and I could see that strength in her. And I just felt, okay, I mean, if I have this kind of person beside me, I mean, I'm likely to, follow the right path. It wasn't so much for love. Because if you fall in love, you fall in love.
I want to cut you a bit. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Because you coded something. It will be good because here we keep it real. And somebody even said, they say he's a traditional man. They say he's a traditional man.
Is there
No. I'm a very romantic, she knows. In fact, our first date, I'm a very creative person. I'm a very romantic person.
Why I'm saying that is because when you say you don't marry for love or friendship, we understand that. But so that it does not confuse somebody. It should be love. Now, is love not more important than friendship? So that's why I say instead of putting it like that, maybe you can throw more light on that.
I think he says that a lot. But for me, I know what I felt and I know how. I mean, you don't when you're with my husband, I still remember one particular day. I don't think he understands what he needs to say. What you should say is that you couldn't have married me if you didn't love me. You fell in love with me, one, and then because of you, I mean, there were some attributes that you also saw. Hold on. If you were not in love, remember one day when I made my hair, where I came to Abibola. You guys say, the way you say,
let's talk.
For a walk. Can you hear me? The way he said, do you want to? He was in love, not mind the man. We know that he's a woman that doesn't know how to express. He will not say, I love you, but it's all over you. When I remember first dates now, when I came to his house, he did scrambled egg, everything.
Now.
When I want to make my hair, he will call people to come and do. He likes 1 million braids. He brings girls from his neighbor to come and do my hair in his hair. What do you call that?
Friendship. Sheep. If I want to extract something from there, we always say that marry your friend. So I believe that friendship formed the foundation or the premise on which you've developed over the years. And of course, love was entrenched. But the focus was, it has to be my friend.
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I know that a lot of people. I just wanted to corroborate what he said, and I know that a lot of men those days. I mean, people have evolved. Both men and women now, express themselves at least to a large extent. But I know that not everybody, found it easy at some point in time to verbalize what they feel. So it may be that as at that time he didn't verbalize it. But one thing I noted is that love is action, and the action was all over the whole place. And then love is commitment.
Yes.
Did I tick those boxes too, where I was not expressive?
Oh,
Yeah.
At the initial stage.
Yeah.
He wasn't experienced.
So I can relate with him. I can relate with him.
Yes, in fact, you know, my husband is one of the things, and you know, as you grow, you learn to accept the other person the way they are. You teach them certain things, the way you want to be loved, you know, but you don't interpret it as, oh, he doesn't love me. But it's actually all. I remember I was telling somebody, I remember when way back when we were still in Surulere, you know, because I'm the one that wake up in the morning, I'm the one that walk on the island that does 8 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, there we didn't have generator, we didn't have anything. When there is no light, my husband would be fanning me in the night. Just so I could sleep. Do you understand? What is the definition of that one?
Action is commitment.
That is the word. That's the word, Sister Uwa. It is commitment to love.
Yes.
It's commitment to love.
So Esther, you were fully in love, but let's not argue it.
Someone said, you fell inside love, period.
Let's go on. We fully established that
love is not when you say I love you. The proof of love is in giving.
Yes.
Well,
yes, that's right.
That's actually I was actually
absolutely yeah.
Before we move on, if you remember very well, I'm just remembering now that time, you know, because I wasn't the expressive type, and her person, she happens to be an expressive person. If I didn't love you, if I didn't love you, and I will not commit my life.
They've had a lot of news and
Exactly. Thank you.
So I don't love you. I won't commit the rest of my life to this cause. And I have to learn it too, because I think that's one point I want to bring out here. The fact that you are not, your nature is not that. If your partner would feel better and feel more love that way, I think it's better you step it up, step out of your own comfort zone, make sure that you contribute to that relationship to make that person feel loved. I have to learn it.
We don't fight them before now.
Let's balance it, sir. It is also the responsibility of the partner to also understand the weakness of this other person, to say, you know, because we accept each other the way we are.
Yes,
we rub off on each other, we influence each other, you know, but we don't try to change each other. What has made this marriage to work, she's fully a choleric, and I've had to be the one. I came to, from day one, I came to
spirit control.
Hello, I'm on the floor now. I came to an understanding that, boy, you have to play the MOU.
Okay, pause, Esa. Please, can you just pause, because that's where we're going to go into now. Now, we've established that you both fell in love, you fell in friendship, you fell in commitment, you fell in action, and marriage happened. Great. Okay. You've been married now 24 years, going to 25. Yes. So this is the next phase of our conversation. How has it been? I mean, from a very realistic and truthful point of view, how has it been for both of you? Have you been enjoying it? Have you been enduring? Have you been trying to just, keep face so that people will not say, I thought they're Christians. I mean, how has the 24 years down the line, how has the journey with each other been?
The best way with which I can describe the journey is to liken it to seasons. Okay. You know, we've had our various seasons, and we've had to, I mean, just the way you guys are preparing, for the winter, we've learned to accommodate, as the season changes, we also, try to adapt,
Yes.
because I mean, where it's not even because of both of us, but because of, people that are looking up to. I mean, if we fail,
Yeah.
the guarantee that somebody will decide not to want to get married is there.
Yeah.
That commitment alone, not just to ourselves, to somebody watching you outside, to somebody, looking at you from afar, I mean, we owe a lot of people, not to make this marriage to work. So that alone, not even to talk of our immediate family, not even to talk about the children we've been blessed with.
Okay, so are you staying in the marriage because of other people?
Yeah, let me take it from that.
Okay.
So just to build on what you have said, talking about seasons.
Yeah.
So seasons come, seasons go.
Yeah.
Let's start from the early stage, season 1. The truth is, our season 1 was very tough. Season 1, in fact, pre-marriage was even tougher. Okay. Because when we, and the one thing that I found out at the beginning of our relationship was that we had synergy. We had the same values. We had the same vision. We have this can-do spirit. We don't care what other people. We focus on ourselves. And if we decide this is what we want to do, we align. And that's what happened. 2 weeks to our wedding, by the way. I remember Wednesday, I was like, are you sure this marriage is going to hold? Nothing. I'm saying 0. There was nothing. We had no accommodation, clothes never ready, my gown, and we were just having the conversation. And my husband said to me, you know what? 3 things are important. 3 people are important in this marriage. Yourself, myself, and Pastor Sam that will join us. He says, every other thing, if you can do it, fine. If you can't do it, we leave it. We walk, anything you have, you wear. We walk to the church. Pastor joins us, we come home. And that's how, and at that point, things began to fall in place. He called me, I think, during the week, I think following day, the sister sent a engagement, Gili and wrapper and agbada and kaftan for him. Somebody in church, the sister was even in our house 2 days ago. You brought a catalog and said, oh, she used to bake. She was like, oh, these are the different prices. These are different designs. I should point to the one I want. Of course, to know me from the one, now money I don't get there. But my taste, the most expensive one, 25,000 naira was what I pointed at. I said,
that time,
after 22,000.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 25K. And that's the most expensive. I said, okay, don't worry. I'm like 25,000. I said, oh, no, let me do for another one. I said, is that the one you really want? I said, yes. I said, don't worry, you don't have to pay. She didn't only bake for the wedding, she baked for the engagement. And even baked for the Alaga Iduro.
The Alaga Iduro was even gotten for free.
It was free. And this is somebody that paid 1 million.
Who is Alaga Iduro?
For the sake of people who don't understand Yoruba,
watching this after
Alaga Iduro is the people that kind of receive engagement on behalf of the family. So they are the people that you engage to, interact with the visiting couple that is coming to ask for your hand in marriage. So that's the woman, and she's not a moi person. She's
very, very expensive. Yes, I mean, our minimum price was from 1 million naira and above.
Yeah, because it was doing for governor's children and all, and she did it for free.
And it was on her birthday.
Yeah, so by and large, from day one, and that's one thing I realized. I know, why do I know that? I knew that this marriage was going to work from the beginning, even though we had a tough period and seasons that were really difficult. But I know I didn't go into this relationship based on, what I'm going to get. It was on God's will, God said, right? Because I know what I heard, right? But our major challenge, really, when we got married, by the time we did the wedding, we didn't even have an apartment. I'm telling you this, because the house we were supposed
on the wedding day, we didn't even buy. It was the morning of that wedding that we bought mineral soft drinks for people to drink.
Yeah.
Because I just said to myself, how many people in their homes will eat a meal and will take a soda alongside it? So I made sure I provided water, and God, in His own infinite mercy, just, made, the soda available that same morning. It was that same morning that I commissioned a printer to quickly dive down to Shomolu to print the program.
Wow.
We had almost finished the service, the wedding service before the program.
Finished the
before the program, because those were the least. Because those were the least,
the list of your worries.
We prioritize. We look at it, and what are those things that if it's, I mean, I didn't have a mother, I didn't have a father. Of course, I have other siblings, but one major thing I didn't want to subject our marriage to was that servanthood. In our own environment here, when you allow your family, to take charge, at that beginning, you will be indebted to them for the rest of your life. And she thought I was being pig-headed, but I just made her to understand, I know where I'm coming from. Just align yourself. I don't want a situation where, you'll be going to someone's house to play, to do agoing, sleep overnight, no, I've never allowed her to do that. Because on our wedding day, we didn't allow anybody, to come sleep over to say, because of, this person's wedding, I'm coming to sleep over and all of that. And God took control. God took control. Here we are today, 24 years
so
down the
that
line.
was season 1. Season 2 was the marriage proper. It wasn't really, one of the things we've learned is that, of course in this, they teach us to delay gratification, right? So there were many things that our mates were doing that we couldn't do, right? So many things, even when we finally found an apartment, it was just by the mercy of God, really. I mean,
sorry, ma. So after the wedding, where did you now go to?
Good question. We went back to his family house, where he lived before we got married. So we went back there. And of course, I don't know how to say this. We got thrown out of that place after, I think, 2 months. Was it up to 2 months or 3 months?
It wasn't up to 2 months.
It wasn't up
we
to
were
2
actually
months.
we were actually waiting for an apartment. We saw an apartment somewhere.
Yeah.
And the landlord was saying that we should wait because he wanted to, do demarcation, and all that. It was a mansion, he just wanted to, demarcate the living area into a 3-room. But the man was not under any pressure.
So delayed.
Was that he was going to give us. So even before the wedding, we had that one, as part of the plan. But when it didn't work out, we had to resort into coming back. And she gladly, woman of wisdom, she gladly followed me, And then when that other incident happened, we had to move back to a one-room in Ikorodu that my mother inherited, from our own mother.
Wow.
And that scenario, is best described by her.
I'm telling you, it was, again, one thing that is very key in a relationship, and for those who are listening, is that you have to believe that unless you're not born again, you have to believe that God is a God that answers prayer. He cares about us. God walks through with us every step of the way.
Every step.
Was it very easy? It wasn't easy for me because I was working in a corporate environment. And when we moved to it wasn't the way he described it. The kind of bathroom that, I'm not from a rich home. My mom is a retired teacher, but we lived in...
It's not that bad.
Different environment. It wasn't that bad. We had a room, we had tiles on the wall, normal shower. That's where I grew up, right? But when I came to Lagos, that's when it's a different conversation. But, when you finish showering and you have to use water to rinse your legs and all that, that kind of bathroom, But when there is love endures, But the truth of the matter is, I couldn't bring people. There was a day a guy gave me a ride because he lives in Ikorodu. Was a major breakthrough for me that day because commuting from VI to Ikorodu wasn't easy. I was literally falling sick regularly because the stress was pretty much. Because if I don't get to this bus stop by 6:30, it's gone. 6 o'clock. And he will walk me through. As soon as I wake up, he's with me, he put water for me, he will walk me to the bus stop to make sure that the bus leaves and all that. And the guy wanted to bring me. I didn't want him to come inside. But the guy was let me know where you live now. Let me know where you live now. I was like,
is that kind of scenario?
That kind of scenario. And he came and said, my man, I said, so you have seen. Oh, yeah, go ever man love. Because it was just one room. And then we left there to Oregon because Oregon was closer. A nice couple that took us in. That was another phase of our marriage. That one was a bit okay. Of course, there's no way you can be, even if you live in a mansion, as long as it's not yours, as a couple. I mean,
you will become stable.
Yes, you will never. Although we didn't lack food, the woman was so generous. She will cook. She won't dish for me. She will say, Anthony, can you dish you go and dish food for yourself and your husband. We will eat on the same dining table, and she was a good cook. That's another thing. God took care of all the challenges of feeding and all that. Because how much of my salary, his business was struggling. It wasn't like we didn't have any step. My salary was maybe 9,000 naira or so. So we were barely just making ends meet. Then my husband has, I think we now got somebody in the neighborhood, Sister Yomi's, that Mommy Yomi's cousin was now giving me right to VI.
To VI.
Also,
save some costs.
So it was a very, very, very trying period. But you know what? We didn't even know because when you are in love, we didn't know we were suffering. Right?
No, we
Seriously, we didn't know because we will carry keg. There was no in that Oregon. There was no tap water. We will carry keg. We go and buy water. You will carry to me. I will carry one on my head. We will wash clothes together and all of that. As I'm washing, is rinsing it. So it was. I don't know what it was that actually kept us.
I think it was more of a test. It was more of preparation for where God, was taking us to. And the journey has been from one level of glory to another. Even the accommodation we got from the one we got in Surulere, I was actually looking for that accommodation for another couple.
Yes.
Another couple that had accommodation problem.
And we didn't have a house, so this man.
And you're looking for another person.
Because if you needed to see the mansion that we wanted to stay, that we were looking forward to,
Oh, so we're still waiting for that Baba to finish renovating and demarcating that house.
We had eaten it up. We had even eaten it up at that time. Remember?
No, we had not.
Remember when I entered that house and I said there was something, I don't know what it was. That house was as if even both of us agree. I don't know if you forgot. There was like a presence in that house. I wasn't. My spirit, even though we were desperate, if it was ready, we would have moved in. But I sensed very bad presence in that house. It was an empty canoe, but it wasn't. I didn't feel good.
Feeling comfortable.
Yes, that it didn't work out. It was also God trying to help us not to be desperate to enter into trouble spiritually. So the house we got finally was my husband came from church one day, and then there was an email that someone sent to church that there's a couple who was close to our sister's friend. They had an apartment, but the landlord had given them quit notice, so they were looking for an apartment. So he was the one that invited them to church. So they came to church that Sunday and they met Pastor Ayo. So, and of course, I think they mentioned that they were looking for an apartment. They prayed with them and all that. And then a guy had sent an email to Pastor Ayo to church saying somebody has a house in Surulere, blah, blah, blah. They're looking for a Christian.
Member.
Yes. They now called the sister, my husband, that those couple. He now said, he even he now brought it and said, that I looked at when I saw I just read the email. I just said, we found the house. Our neighbor said, what's that? He said he doesn't know. I don't know what she's saying. I said, what? Monday morning, I went to the house. I said, you want to go and give who? You want to go and give who? Hey, I said, look at this man. No. Well, you think I'm coming because I'm not complaining. That's how I went to the house, and the rest is history. And the good thing about that house again was that the man gave us, we were not paying in annually. Have you heard it? Where a rent is being paid monthly. The man told us you can be paying monthly. Yes.
And that's not the trend in Lagos.
Never.
In Nigeria, especially Lagos. It's not the trend.
Never. So every step of the way we see the hand of God.
We lived there 5 years. Then one other thing that also helped us was the fact that we had an agreement that we were not going to stay in a particular, rented apartment for more than 5 years. So even when we were, within our comfort zone, God has a way of pushing us out.
Yeah.
Which was exactly what happened. The landlord that was like a father ended up giving us a quit notice. And the day we was to give us that quit notice, I told my wife, I said, it's not God. That God that brought us thus this far will not abandon us.
Okay, so pause, sir, because I sense that we are moving into season 3 now.
Yes.
So if you are listening, you're watching, I really do not want us to take this moment, with levity. Because I'm just thinking that, I was thinking that I suffered, but now I'm hearing your story. So now I'm hearing your story, and it was not even this bad, because when we were going to get married, that is, before we got married, my mom insisted, I said, you people must get an accommodation. So we were able to get 2-bedroom that we started with. That same Ikorodu, because obviously it's cheaper to get a house in that area. For those of us who don't know, Ikorodu is a suburb in Lagos, but it's way out of city center and the major town. So accommodation is usually cheaper in that area. So we started with Ikorodu. So we got a 2-bedroom that we were able to move into. I'm just thinking now that a young bride, young, man starting life together, you have to start with family life, inside family house. That's one prayer I don't pray for anybody, because now that we are into married family counseling and, and all that, we know that young couples would always require that time when they just get married, that time to bond, to learn and unlearn about themselves,
make mistakes and learn from them
without pressure and interference from extended family members. That I don't know how that went. I will not have prayed that for my enemy, but you went through it all. And from there, you now moved. Yeah.
Funny enough, while we're in Ikorodu, other than, you see, his family they are very loving family. The woman that was like the mother there, Elijah of blessed memory now, she was such an amazing woman. It's very rare to live in the midst of illiterates as a young couple, and nobody is putting you under pressure to say, she didn't sweep. The traditional way in Yoruba land, as a new wife or a young wife, you have to be the one to sweep. If the reverse was the case, I just wake up in the morning, I dress up and I go to work. By the time I come back, Mama has made hot amala, put it inside flask. I'm telling you the truth. So I didn't have any reason to say, look at my life, they don't love me, they're putting me under pressure. God was so wonderful in that area. The only place that I would say we had a bit of a negative influence, which they didn't affect us, because they are wonderful couple, the Oregon one, was, once in a while, and the woman was just out of, is people talk based on their understanding. Very loving. I just talked about her, that she was very nice and, One day where, she said, Auntie Nikki, I want to tell you something. I hope you're not going to be upset. I said, what is it? She said, it's not comfortable the way Uncle Deji is washing clothes. He's washing clothes. That if his people see you, they will think you have cooked vegetable for him. So, I was like,
Hypnotize him.
in this, they said that you have hypnotized him or you have used juju.
Yeah.
I wanted to be upset, but that's me. My nature is I always like to look at the good side of people before I react. I didn't like it. I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, it's not your fault. Maybe it's because we're here. But I said to her, but whose clothes is she washing? Is he washing? I said, look, the bulk of it is his clothes. I go to work every day. I'm washing, it's rinsing and spreading. Me, I like to wash. The only challenge I have is now, but if you are washing it, I would think you're not washing it very well. So I like to wash and be satisfied that it's clean. So I don't mind somebody rinsing and now spreading it on the line. That's what he was doing. I was telling me that my husband is those were the only negative influence, and it was for we talked about it, we laughed, we gist about it, and the truth of the matter is we do Beboro a lot. We talk about other people. We just talk about that. Don't worry yourself, And so there was no pressure at all.
That's really great to hear, because that's usually not the norm.
Yeah.
That's usually not the norm.
Yeah, I think before we move on to the next stage, judging by time, what I can see here is, two people making commitment, because she made the statement earlier that we didn't even know that we are suffering. So I could see that is a mutual commitment and working together for the purpose of the greater tomorrow. That's the way I can just best put it.
You're absolutely right.
Because you have a bigger picture, then you've just concluded in your mind, this is just a transition, a temporary phase towards a better place that we are seeing ahead.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone, that you're still logged on. We are going to move into season 3 now. And if you have if you have questions, please, pop into the chat. We are seeing all your comments. Thank you for the engagement. Keep them coming. Uwa Dele Agbogun. Yes, our president. We see you. Mrs. Akosa, thank you, ma. Debola, thank you. For those of you who have put in comment, they all add, to the enrichment. Tola, Deni, thank you. We see all your comments and we'll be calling them out, every now and then. Thank you so much. So if you have questions, please pop them into the chat. Fumi says, this is very inspiring. May Almighty God continue to bless your home. Amen. Thank you, Fumi. Amen. In fact, the best is yet to come. So please hang on, okay? Season 3 is we are moving. So, Sir and Ma, we've heard your story, and in all my years of seeing you in this star, I think we came in maybe season 3 or season 4. That was when we knew you, because then you're looking, anytime we see people, you're always looking very glamorous, very beautiful, well dressed, well made up. I never knew that both of you went through all these. If they had told me, I would not have even, believed. But thank God for preserving you through those seasons of your life. My next question is, when did it begin to get better? Because the you that we know now, is not the story that you have just related to us. Now we know you as the beautiful and energetic, generous Big Daddy and Big Mommy. And truly, we know the backstory. We've stayed in your house in Lekki. You host us several times when my husband was pastor of Lekki Church. You are generous financially with your time, everything. When did the story now change? Because I know a lot of our listeners or people watching and who are still going to watch later, they want to know, how did it now happen? Okay,
let me just chip in something. I haven't said all of these funny stories, so to speak. We were givers. We were fully sold to God's kingdom. There was nothing, those material things, at no point in time did it ever, define who we are. We've been in this season that we just spoke about. I was in the service. The Holy Spirit said, that only car that you have in the house, drop it in the offering basket. It was on a Sunday morning. It was on a Sunday morning. The following Sunday, I didn't tell her. I packed the original documents of the vehicle. I dropped it in the offering basket. So we drove the car home. It was on our way home that I told her that car, that's the last.
It's no longer our own, no.
It's no longer our own. And then she looked at me. I mean, we've done some crazy things. I mean, there was a particular night somebody had an accident, and then I just dashed it. The last time, you know, because somebody was in need. We had something to help, you know, and then the following morning, she didn't even have anything for transport to work the following morning.
Yeah.
That's how crazy.
You see, because everything is sounding like, you know, we didn't have any challenge. We really had.
And not that we didn't also have money as well, but we just prioritized what those things were for.
One of the major challenges that I think we had was at the initial stage. You know, we had just gotten married, and this generous, selfless man that I just married I found out that the man would put everybody else first before me or himself. So I had, you know, it was really, I remember a particular incident that we were going home and we had given the only car we had. So this particular day, and no, was it? I think it was after we gave out the car. So this Sunday we had transport fare before we left home. We were now, let's go home. He was going round and round. We are ready, let's go. I'm coming. He kept saying, I'm coming. Apparently, my husband had given our transport fare to somebody else. Unfortunately for him, he was banking on maybe hitching a ride with somebody else that was going away, but that person had gone. So he was just perambulating. You know, so those were the major issues that we used to have in terms of, in fact, I mean, just to balance the conversation so that people don't think that, oh, maybe my marriage, something is wrong with my marriage. The truth of the matter is there'll be challenges. There'll be things that you see differently. My husband is the type of person that he doesn't think of himself. In fact, we just came back on holiday. My husband went to shop for himself the day we were supposed to leave for Nigeria. He had been buying things, so he did not buy for himself. It was that last minute that I now realized, let me go and buy. I just need to pick some few things for myself. And I looked at him, I'm like, are you okay? You see, I want me. Anyway, so it was, and I remember that I did that initially. You know how because I'd read a book before I married, before I even met him. I read a book written by Mama Feto Yedepo, Making Marriage. You know, I was inspired, you know, how she will give everything to her husband and everything. But, you know, we tried joint account. We were paying money into an account, you know. I thought the money was there. One day I said we needed money urgently, and I said, let's go into this account. You know, just kept it. Later you say you use it to pay somebody's school fees. I looked at him, I said, are you okay? You use it to pay everything in the account, you know. So I just said to myself, you know, you have to. So I decided that, you know, we're not going to do joint accounts
anymore.
Yes. So the account died a natural death. Okay. And it was not, you know, initially, it's better now, right? But my husband would, when he sees me, I'm not emotional. I'm not an emotional giver. I always like to also take care of me. I like to take care of me. My husband doesn't really care like that much. Say, how many things do we need? Me, if you see my wardrobe, I'm still buying. When I see it, I like it, I buy without any guilt. Because, you know, I just say to myself, Omo, you deserve the good life. You have worked hard.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the one that even took me there to that level. One day we were in the UK.
Okay, sorry, I need to come in. We have a question in the chat that I would like us to take. And then we also want you to tell us how you were able to transition from that, state of, struggling financially to being able to build a financially stable and thriving home. I know that a lot of watchers are really interested. I mean, were there practical steps? Was there a supernatural boom? Somebody came, or did you win the lottery? What exactly happened? Are there principles that you put into place that helped you to transition over the years, that you're able to build a strong financial home? That's one. Then secondly, we have this question. It is not financial, related. It says, would like to know how the couple navigated their sexual life, the urges and sexual satisfaction through their different seasons in marriage. And I know that this is a very valid question, because there's this song that says, no romance without finance. Some men, when they're not able to meet their financial obligation, it affects their sexual libido. So I guess this Oscar is wondering, so how were you able to navigate those times that you had issues financially, you were not settled, maybe from family house, though you said you didn't see it as suffering, but there's no way somehow, because the difference is always there when you are in your own house, you have your privacy, as against when you are living with other people. So that question and the financial one that I just outlined.
Okay, so with respect to the issue of how we've been able to handle our finances, there's no how we can take God's factor out of it.
Yeah.
What people were paying money to get, we were enjoying grace to get it.
Yes.
What people were using money to get, we enjoyed God's. We got an apartment when we left Surulere. When we moved to Yaba,
Yeah.
it was a standalone house. By sheer God's mercy. In fact, if there is nobody you tell that story that this is how much you are paying for that house,
Yes.
that people will believe you. There's no harm. Even when we moved down to Lekki, for the whole 8 years we stayed in that apartment that you first came to, we were paying 800,000 naira. All through that 8 years.
Yes.
Not a single increase.
Yes.
While we were in that same rented apartment.
Yeah.
Well, because of my nature, I get offers. People didn't want to develop their land. They were tired, because development was not forthcoming. So they were they were offering it to us at as if a dash.
So you had business opportunities.
Oh my God. Oh my God. God. Even in terms of our job, favor. When there's it's only dead accounts that they assign to her in our office. But if she touches that account, it comes to life.
So
it comes to life.
Let me just add one.
So no, let me just quickly balance this. We were able, to also delay gratification in the midst of all this.
Exactly.
We were able to delay gratification. At the point, we were just using one car. Because I had control of my time, I'll go drop her in the office in the morning. I'll wait for her to close. We were things we were enjoying. We traveled to Hawaii. The immigration officer that was at interviewed us said, "Are you not a baron in your country?" to travel to Hawaii on holiday for an American, you have to save. We went there for free. We've been all over for free.
And the beauty, we also stayed in Waldorf Astoria.
You cannot take away God's factor from our rise to where we are.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add to.
So just to buttress what my husband has said, the truth of the matter is that, for us women, because of the way we were wired, I wish I could say, oh, all those period that we're living inside this jungle, inside the jungle, quote unquote, then, I didn't like it. I did not like it one bit. I was upset, as at that time, we could afford to pay 2.5 million for an apartment. We were living in that age, although it wasn't like the house was not, it was a brand new house. We were the first tenant to move into the house. But you know how it was? The road was like, it was the water. Anybody that has heard of Ologolo will know that Ologolo was, it was like hell. You know, water will enter house, the compound. There was time the generator house was filled with water. Did I like it? The answer is no. I didn't like it because, and you know, some women would have moved out of the house to say because they could have, because the truth is I could afford to pay on my own to say, okay, me, I cannot live here because I couldn't even bring my people. I couldn't invite people home. Sometimes people want to say they want to come. I wish I could say no, but I said, come. But inside me, I want to, you know, I know the picture of the home I want to stay in my head. But when my husband insisted that, because initially we had made some investment in Mowe side, you know, we called people, what the investment, it wasn't like we had money, but we had people bought into these things and all that. And unfortunately, we lost it. The Monilas played their usual whatever. And it was one of the seasons of our life that my husband earned my respect. How he was able to, because me, I'll be looking at him and I was worried. I was like, how can a man work this hard? Acres of land. We lost everything. He did not move in one bit. He earned, you know, in marriage, and that's what I keep saying to people, a man, you cannot force your wife to submit. You have to earn. In this marriage, my husband has ended. He ended. And I remember when we, you know, because when we were coming from, I remember one particular day, we were in America, we were coming back, when we entered from the express road, the water, and then he now bought a bus that it was like driving, it was like a boat, you know, cruising through, wading through water.
GMC Safari.
GMC. You know, I'll be so depressed. I'm like, what kind of life is this? The man refused to leave. He said, see all this land, we will buy. That's the day of 200. You know Monile, when they are hungry, if you give them 200K, they will take. We were paying bit by bit. We took bank loan at some point. The first property, we took 4.5 million. That house now, the land is not, it's not less than 250 million as we speak. And it's not one, it's not many. We were paying bit by, we did not, our mates were living at the other side, 3.5 million. Apartment, rented. We could afford it, but we didn't. Instead, we were putting it in investment. We didn't buy brand new cars. Even though we had been driving brand cars, now if they start, then a lot of people say, this is where they are so rich. Not lie. In my office, they will give me brand new car. We tell the landlord, we'll rock it. When the job finish, they will get another one. You know, like that. God has been just awesome. So the truth of the matter is, and I even remember one time I went to tell the pastor. Pastor was like, you're fine. So, you people shall say that we should be submissive. You know. I didn't say more than that, but in my heart, I'm like, how can we be living? How can we? And we used to go abroad. We would travel and come back to the jungle. I didn't understand, but later I understood. I thank God that even though I wasn't happy inside, I didn't like it. We used to have issues then. And you know, my husband is such a very creative man, and that talks to the fact that he loves me. He doesn't realize it. Please tell him he loves me.
We know he does.
When I travel, because my job involves a lot of traveling. When I travel, because he knows that when I come back, you know, when you come back, you've lived, you've stayed in, you know, Hilton, big hotels, Waldorf Astoria, and then you come back, maybe the house is, before I come back, my husband would do something, some drama in the room, relocate, reposition the bed, exactly, repaint. So when I come back, I'm not like feeling, which kind of house be this now, you know? So he earned the respect. That's the honest truth. he ended. So it wasn't all rosy, but to the glory of God, we endured. If you just keep your focus, do not look at, because the truth is, don't know what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Some people is bank loan. Some people are living paycheck to paycheck just to keep up appearances. You don't need that.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
You know, you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to. And, you know, we had so much peace. We were not under any pressure.
At all.
You know, even in my husband, people, you know, if the job ends tomorrow, I'm at peace. Because I cannot be hungry. It is not possible. Because in the season of harvest, we had sowed.
Yeah.
So that is important. Was I wearing even right now? There's a limit to the number to how much I can buy a wig for. You know, we were just like permanent most of the time. Then all those times in when we were still in Coca, 71, most of my clothes were we'll go to June, but you know, by the time I wear it and everything is looking pamper and I'm inside brand new car, official car, you think everything, but it wasn't. And then, you know, at some season, I'm going back to season 1 of our lives now. How are we able to balance the fact that we were not hungry? My husband is very creative. I remember those days, he would go to, instead of want to eat fresh fish, he will not go to open market, go to the open market to go and buy fresh fish. He will go and stay by the riverside where the people are catching the fish and sit with them and gist with them and and buy fish that we ordinarily buy in the 8,000 and buy it at 1,500 and bring it to, and we eat. We didn't even have furniture in the house. We will sit on the floor, about the floor. We're happy. But today the story is different.
We enjoyed every moment. I think that best described.
Yes. Every moment, the difficult season, we enjoyed it.
I woke up one morning in Surulere and we left the empty plate, you know, in the sink, and then it blocked the water from flowing. So when NEPA brought light in the middle of the night, and then you know, the water overflowed, and then we woke up, and then there was flood everywhere. The best I could do was to just say, yeah.
Me, I was already up.
You know, she was already walked up.
I went to carry umbrellas.
You know, so I mean, I thank God for my life. And nothing bothers me. Nothing bothers me, and that has really helped me in handling this very strong woman. You know, nothing bothers me. I allow her to express herself. I know what drives her. You know, her job means a lot to her. You know, and I give her, you know, to do whatever, you know.
I still remember what you said when
sorry.
Okay. So,
okay, I just wanted to come in because we are very time conscious, so we just have a few minutes left, and we've all been enwrapped in your story. And I will just try to do a quick recap. So for those of us who have been here, who may not have been here since the beginning, we've been listening to the very inspiring story of Adedeji and Oyenike Abagun, and they have told us how they moved from pre-season to season 1, season 2, season 3, and perhaps this is season 4. But really, it's been from one level of grace and glory to another. When they got married, there was no accommodation. From wedding, they moved into family house. From family house, they were kicked out. They moved to one room in Ikorodu that grandma inherited from another grandma. Then from there, they moved into another family house, though not family house, but that already been that were a family house owned by someone else. So in a way, like squatter, kind of, forgive my choice of word, Sam, like a squatter. So they started squatting with another family in Oregon
10 months.
For 10 months. And all this while, some of the things I gained that I have noted down is the fact that they were committed to each other. they kept a very positive attitude. They put God, in front of all these challenges. I mean, these things are principles that will help you surmount issues any day, anytime. And they were giving. They were not in a situation where they say, oh, they were not able to help other people. They helped other people, and at the appropriate time, their seeds began to speak for them. This is my own story. And in terms of, I know you're also going to say your own. And in terms of the financial transition, because a lot of people will be like, oh, now you hear them say, they are traveling over the world. They've gone to Hawaii. No, I've never even gone to Hawaii. I've never even gone to America before. You hear Stanika mentioning Waldorf Astoria. I mean, those are big, big hotels that we are still aspiring to say, okay, one day, yes, we too will stay there. And you're now wondering, is this the same couple that they kicked out from family house, or the same couple that was in one room that grandma / grandma inherited? What was the process or the principles? Things I have gained, the God factor. Again, have you noticed that God is always, and so that, and these buttress the things we always say. Marriage was instituted by God. If you want to make a success of your home, you're not just going to put principles into practice, you're going to put God into the mix as well, because that is God that makes the difference. They kept giving, and they delayed gratification. Okay, Stanika, we still have this question on sex that we'll still like you to take, but I just want to quickly do this recapping. They delayed gratification, they invested, and they never compared themselves with other people. Comparison can kill relationships. Okay, so this is, and then the last thing I noted down is they enjoyed where they were on the way to where they were going.
I just wrote it here.
We
Enjoy
really
where you
enjoyed
are
that.
on your way to where you are. Yeah.
And I think talking about the sex thing,
Yeah.
because we're enjoying where we were on the way to where we were going, there's no way the sex will be affected, so to speak. And to the glory of God, our sexual appetite is the same. So there's a balance, because the problem
is you are both actively sexually active, or that's not big.
No, she is at
For
times.
us.
Still,
Me are more active than us.
See, the kind of person my husband is, when it comes to sex,
Sorry, sometimes I forget you're not listening to.
you don't want pastor to expose you. Don't worry, you have license. You have license to do. Look at the
correct couple, let them talk. That is assurance. So please, before you just.
You see, the thing about it is that when I'm not on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to, I'm not sexually, I can do without, but when I do, you have to do it well, right? When I feel like I'll ask him, and he has never turned me down. If I'm the one that even had the tendency, I'm the one that has the tendency to turn down.
Several self.
And
we were not in moon. We were alone on an island, and there was a boat. I said, "Oh, my kilo
It was connected by the blood.
I'm a kilo now.
That kind of thing before. In the open, which is on the sand.
She's too old school.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, spontaneity is good. Mark that.
My own day, you must close the window. You must draw the curtain.
And the light must be off. And I'm like, kilo share. Is it not within this context of marriage we're talking about? You are still wondering, is the curtain fully drawn?
Don't make
and I'm like,
keep your nose. So money was never the truth of the matter is because really, why would money is just a tool.
Yeah,
it's a servant. It's if you like he said, if you put your focus on money, you miss it. You miss it because you don't need money. If you want to drive a car, you need a car. it's a car you need. You don't need money. You can say, Father, I need a car.
Sure.
There was a time in my life when I said, and I need an Ankara, and I'll get to church and somebody gives me, and somebody will just bless me with an Ankara. You know, so it's tell God what you need. The thing is not about money. We rent the apartment we moved to in season 2 of our life in Yaba. We didn't have money now.
We didn't.
House that somebody had wanted to pay 1.6 million. They gave us for 600K. And we didn't even have the money. We paid over a period of 6 months.
Yeah.
A house that has nice, beautiful duplex with garden, hibiscus flowers on the road.
Yeah.
You know, it's been grace.
Yeah.
And I know I always say we've never. I mean, have you thought about it? There hasn't been a time that we buy a new car, we want to dispose of the old one that we sell. We give it out. We have never sold a car.
No.
Never, not in this marriage. We've never sold a car. We just look for somebody and, you know, prayerfully just like, okay, let's give it to. There was a couple, we gave one couple, just one day, we just saw them and they had 2 kids. The husband will carry the baby, they will get, you know, carrying things. My husband said, let's give them the car. And we gave them. We gave them. You know, and that's it. We don't. So when I come to one day, I wanted to buy a car from somebody that I know very well. I wanted to buy it for my sister, a car that you've driven for many years, and you know, say he wants to sell 2.3 million. I said, give me a 2.5 now. You know, that's and I'm like, he said no. I said, all I know is no. You don't even need the 3 million.
Yeah.
You don't. He doesn't need that 3 million, no, because he's comfortable. But insisted anymore. I will dash it out.
Thank you, Stanike. So it's 8:29. Usually our maximum time is 8:30, but we have a follow-up question that's saying, and I think you've answered it, but just so that, you know, our asker will see that, yes, we are mindful of their questions and their needs. Did your appetite or libido change or reduce over the years? Not financial-wise now. So have you kept the same libido, sexual appetite?
No.
It has
increased. I'm now at my menopause, right? So it's the truth of the matter is when you are young. I mean, I remember they used to do every day like as if there was no tomorrow, you know. But the truth of the matter is I could do without. But I mean, when I really want it, I get it. I will not, and you know, I don't believe in just sex as a duty. Sex for me is not a duty.
It has never been.
Sex is not a duty. Sex is something that I want to enjoy. And if you are done and I am not done, you will continue until I am done.
Yes,
we are both satisfied.
That one.
That's
hey.
You cannot leave me.
No.
I don't want to feel used.
No.
Yeah.
Because you will feel used. So you are just have to stay there and do what.
Me, I'm not okay. You have to get me to where I say, hey, I'm okay. Go to sleep and have a good sleep.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay, so
the sex is not the same way, but you know, really, what is but it doesn't.
So
So I want to increase or decrease.
What I want to say is this. So
I'm asking.
I will come to it.
Say about this sex
You
again.
answer that question.
Let me say this.
So yeah, now we are serious now.
Yes. Truth be told, when one engages in something that brings stress, not sex now, stress to his or her life, there's no how it will not reduce. If, for instance, maybe in terms of frequency now, maybe, for instance, and it's relative, those that just got married, some years into it, and some later years into it again. As we grow older, the frequency has the higher chance. I don't have the statistical figure source to prove this now, but there's a higher chance that the frequency will reduce.
And I also want to say something, sir. Sorry to cut you short, because this thing, I don't know why this person has this question. When a man, because men are different, maybe your husband is the type that gets easily tired as a sort of stress, because Lagos is very stressful, right? And in our marriage, there was a time I was suspecting my husband. Because I'm like,
of what?
I said, is he having sex outside me? Because yes, I was like, if I will now be looking at him when I'm upstairs, I'll come and say, is he when he enters bathroom? confession time, I'll go and be, is he masturbating me? You know, I'm telling you the truth.
Wow.
But it was Lagos stress. Then we now went, I sent this thing on, you know me, I'm very real. I sent this
I
thing
trust you.
at some meeting in Daystar. We now went on holiday in the UK. The man nearly killed me. You know, because there was no, you understand, there was no stress. It was cold, you know, everything. The weather was conducive. The environment calm, quiet. I was not thinking of work. He was not thinking, nobody was calling him that one block has broken at the site or one cement bag of cement is missing. You know, we're relaxed, we're just having fun and having sex like there was no tomorrow. So if your husband is at that stage that is not, it doesn't mean that he's cheating. It doesn't mean that he's cheating. Okay.
Stress.
So what I want to say is, so thank you for using down to corroborate what I just said. And that's why if one is in that space, it differs from home to home. So there's no one that fits all approach to this thing. So it's to first of all come to that awareness between yourself and your spouse and find out what is the uniqueness of your own situation. When you find out about that, then both parties must agree that we need to do something about this. And when you agree that you want to do something about it, I noted it down here. You have to be very intentional. If, for instance, it reduced from 4 times a week into 1 time, or sometimes once in 2 weeks or once in 1 month, depending, then you need to deliberately have that conversation and agree, you know what, we need to find a way. First thing that the one that will lead to the decision will be assessment and even find out. We just said some things here now. We said one factor is that stress could be a result. As a result. Another thing, worrying could be a result, either from work or health issue could be. So there are many challenges that could be. You can research that and find out. Well,
and the environment again, your bedroom also has a way of either killing the urge or increasing the urge, right? If and then if I mean, I remember those days, if there's no light, for example, you don't have AC, your room is not air conditioned, somebody has just come back, is sweating, and you're trying to, you know,
it's not like
Sorry, Sister Uwa, one of my daughters is saying that Pastor Deji dodged the question. No. Somebody, you know, I know her. No, don't worry. I know her.
Did you dodge?
That.
No, it's a PD. Dodge the question.
When
okay, because
sex has
okay, because she wanted to, she insisted that I allow her to answer. So that's why I just, you know, let her be.
It's not you, sir. It's not you.
So at the end of the day, to analyze it, you agree, talk about it, then you have to be very intentional. And if you are able to identify those things, then talk about it. How can you walk around that thing that is causing it? Then make a plan. There's nothing wrong with planning towards it. And just tell yourself, okay, from once a month, I think we can start doing it twice in a month, or from once in every 2 weeks, maybe you can start doing it once in a week. So it all depends and it's relative. But if there's any need for further clarification outside of this meeting, because we've gone over our time, we can discuss that outside this. Of course, you have our handles at Dele Agbogun, and if they are the one you want to talk to directly, you know their names. Please, what's that?
Sister, she's looking for trouble now. She's looking for trouble. Her hand is going where you know. Her fingers are beginning to.
I am following your step, ma.
Her fingers.
Can we be focused? Can we a very focused?
I rest my case. I'm done.
Thank you so much, sir and ma. It's been a very inspiring one. And I mean, going by comments in the comment session, it's been great. Thank you. Thank you, Felista. Thank you, Sheon. Thank you, Debola. Thank you, Mabel. Thank you, Toyin. Thank you. I mean, everyone that have, kept the comment section buzzing and on fire. Thank you. Tony says, I'm inspired, Deji Ayanike, though I'm aware of some part of the story. I'm aware of some part of the story. Congratulations on God's increase. I know Felista also posted, okay, Felista says, the level of wisdom is making me really emotional, outstanding. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Mabel says, amazing lessons. Thanks for sharing your life journey with us. And I know that
focus.
Yeah, so we should focus. So it's been a very interesting conversation we've had here today, and we really want to say thank you. I have one more question, but let's do all our thank yous first, so we don't forget, because we spent a whole lot of time. I still see some comments coming in. Please keep it coming.
Thank you, Big Daddy and Mommy.
Thank you, Big Daddy and Big. Yes, that's what we call them too. Thank you for paving the path for my generation. Fashai Victoria says, thanks so much. This is wonderful. I'm equally aware, but I bless God in their life. Amazing. Thank you. Oluwatosin Sumola says, I pray for the grace you carry.
You carry,
I pray for the grace you carry. Well, thank you so much, sir. I mean, it just keeps coming and coming and coming, and we have been really inspired as well. Stanike and Pradeji have been very, when my husband was still a pastor in this, that they were one of the strongest supports that they gave. You know, when you're a pastor, you're a man of God, and God sends people to support you in the work that God has given to you. These couple, they have always been there for us, and we say a big thank you. And thank you for accepting our invitation today. Thank you for having been very vulnerable, being honest, and just bearing it all, so that other marriages can be inspired and people can be energized, to keep fighting for their marriages, because marriage still works. All the stories that we hear on social media of marriages breaking. See, Pradeji and Stanike's marriage is one of millions that are working, but attention is not just being focused on them. So marriages are still working. Marriages are beautiful, and theirs is an example. Ours is an example. And I know there's so many more. And see, if you would like us to feature your story to inspire others on this talk show, please, by all means, reach out to us. We'll be happy, to share your story and bring you on board. My husband will post our social media handles on the chats. Please follow us. We post every day, inspiring, funny, and content posts that will help you and build your home. I'll help you build your home. Thank you so much.
Marriage and your story has encouraged me. I also realized that I'm not suffering. You're not suffering, my sister. It's a season. I don't know what season one. You see how many seasons? Look at us.
Yes, it's a season.
Yeah.
Exactly. So while Dele is posting the questions and the social media handles, how do you inject spark into your marriage? Because it's obvious. I like the way you guys have been joking. I know Stanike's hand has been touching some places that I cannot mention with my holy mouth.
Have I prayed?
I didn't say you should mention.
No, well, I mean, I can do something like Stanike.
Don't do anything. Post
I should
social
post.
media.
My hand should be here, not.
Exactly. Post social media handle.
Okay.
So how do you inject spark into your marriage?
Well, naturally, I can be very naughty. And I just realized that, it's my responsibility to reduce tension in my home. And every little thing, at times I'm driving, I'm taking our son to school, and she's jogging, and then I'll just drive past and just hit a bomb, I like that. I like that. At times, we are just what she's doing. I do that a lot. We went for, what's it called? We are innovative. She is
very adventurous.
She can be a bit rigid, you can imagine we went for what's it called? The spa treatment, and we were alone in that, hot jacuzzi, and I'm like, see, behold,
opportunity.
And I'm like, holy, that is true of me.
I'm you to continue.
No, see, because the truth of the matter is, I'm back home from work. I am tired. it's right there where I finished my dinner that I will have slept off.
Slept off.
So every opportunity to be
Don't say I
naughty.
know where God got it from. Emmanuel is doing the same. Okay now.
And I'm like, I mean, don't why you come on Barale? I mean,
Thank you very much.
But it's really been, we just try to be creative, we just try to make the best.
We would like to have fun together,
Yeah.
That's me time important. Take time out. It doesn't have to be abroad. You can
we're
go
very
to
adventurous.
you can do a road trip to Ghana. These things has a way of kind of coming and reducing tension, just make out time for each other.
And we absolutely agree with you.
And don't take life too serious.
I mean, it's not that deep. What you think you're going through? Not that deep.
It's not.
It's a season.
It's a process.
It's a season. It's a phase. That's very instructive. Thank you so much.
In conclusion, I wrote something down here. Marriage still works. It depends on individual circumstances, individual values, and individual priorities. Well, while marriage may not be the best fit for everyone, it can still be a beautiful, rewarding, and successful institution for many couples. So you can decide, to make it so, and you can decide to also chicken out. You can never tell what is waiting for you on the other side.
On the other side?
That would just be my closing remark.
Thank you for that critical analysis. I like that. Yes.
Thank you so much. And so everyone have remained locked on. Okay, sorry.
Yes, for me, I just want to encourage the young woman out there to say that just keep the faith, keep pushing, keep helping your helpmate. Don't kill the man because he's not bringing much now. The same man that is not bringing much now, you'll be amazed that he will carry all the responsibilities tomorrow. And, I was telling, I don't know if it was you, I was telling some couple recently, there was a time that the responsibility, because I'm the one doing 9 to 5, the resources will come more frequently from me, NEPA bills and all that. Now, I don't know how it works. I don't know. The other day I saw something. I said, what is this? I wanted to throw it away. They said, oh, that's this thing that they used to log credit on the NEPA bill. I don't know many things. I just wake up, I do my stuff. But it wasn't.
And live your baby girl life.
Yes, it hasn't always been like that. So please just hang in there and support the man, and provided the man is also responsible. The man must be willing. I mean, I believe you've learned from what we shared from my husband's experience. It pays. When you work together like that, God is going to make sure that, you surmount all the, obstacles that you're currently going through.
And just a quick one for the men out there. Allow your wives to express themselves in whichever form. Stop suspecting. Stop, allow her. If it is career-wise, let her be. Let her be. Let her be. If your woman wants to cheat, she can cheat right
under your nose.
And you will not know. Yeah. Why not give yourself rest of mind? Allow that woman, because, I mean, if I did not allow her to express herself, and she continued to add value to herself, and then she continued to improve on her job, that will have, I mean, when there was nothing coming from me, that will have put a lot of pressure. But because she was also able to fill the gap, but it just happened. It was because our first job, I had to take her to a computer school. I had to take her to, she built us, I allowed her to, develop herself. I am complete in my destiny. I am complete in my destiny. I mean, she bears my name, my surname. They don't even know where she's coming from. That alone, I'm so confident that, so why should I be afraid? All our colleagues in the office are my friends. Yes, because I work in a male-dominated environment. At times we're in bed, they are talking, we're away, they are talking, I allow her, I let her be. At times she wants to watch TV and I want to watch the news. I let her be. I leave the living room for her. You know, I mean, just sacrifice for this relationship to work. That's what it's all about, Salma.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
To add to that, if despite all this, you're still finding it challenging, that's why you need to reach out. We've dropped the social media handles there. You can reach out and we'll find a way how that can be navigated. So thank you.
Every problem has a solution.
You have a solution if both parties are
willing to work at it.
And put in the required work.
Yes.
So at this point, please, can you just help us appreciate them? Drop it in the comment section because we come to the end. And please we apologize. This is way beyond the time that we would normally take, but we cannot just cut it short because they have more to offer. They are just giving it, and but please, just we apologize for exceeding. So we'll try better next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying put, contributing. Thank you. And please, everybody, help me appreciate Ewa, our daughter. He styled me for today's show. He contributed to ensuring my makeup was made. I mean,
she'll be feeling cool where she is now.
This is for you. Thank you so much. You guys, I'm looking like a Gen Z in my hairstyle. Ewa.
Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And everyone have an amazing. Bless you.
Yeah. Right.